Well, the Queen Mother's charity Polo Cup was conceived with the sole aim of contributing towards the betterment of the broader South African community, this through supporting the development of young girls in education. The event is the brainchild of Dr Semane Molotlegi, Queen Mother of the Royal Bafokeng Nation. She spoke to Samantha about the upcoming event earlier on today.
Just as you said, that is not really a popular sport, but the last year one was a first. And, sort of a first, and it was with trial and errors. It was a learning, we're learning to see and starting to feel the waters, how the people will appeal to it. And the response that we got, I think for a first thing, it was pleasing. I was pleased about it.
Why polo? I mean, obviously it's a very elite sport, the world over. Why did you choose to go with this sport?
Well, the very fact that you start with the word elite, there's the myth that you want to sort of dispel. It is looked as an elite sport, but I see it as a sport like any other sport because it talks about horses, which is part of our heritage from the past. And we do have people who are riding horses, but this is just a game which has never been, people have never been really accustomed to. Like any other sport, there are many other sporting codes that people did not really feel comfortable with, but now they are they're taken as anything. So I'm hoping that as time goes on, it is not going to be an overnight thing, but as time goes on, that it will turn into something.
Tell us about the beneficiaries, because you have put beneficiaries on the table that you're hoping to be able to donate money to this year.
Yes, as I said, that last year we didn't really meet all of our expectations. We had the same beneficiaries, the ones that we had last year, which is the Girl Guides, Cancer Association, and Tutotebe Educational Trust.
So this event is open to all South Africans. Anyone who's interested in polo can come along and enjoy.
Anyone who's interested in polo, anyone who loves polo can come and join, especially coming to the spectators. We want to attract as much, the whole of South Africa to come and watch, because the bigger picture, or my real vision about it, is seeing it one day, whether in my life or even if I'm not here anymore, that it will be something that will be a tourist attraction, where people will, all the cars will lead to Bafokeng on the 23rd of March or in September, somewhere around there, where people will come to Bafokeng to go and watch this mystery sports.
Yeah. And that brings me to the question around, obviously, the vision of the Bafokeng Nation when it comes to your Vision 2020. That's pretty much a blueprint for where you hope your community will be and beyond that. So sport forms a cornerstone of that Vision 2020.
Exactly.
Tell us why you are choosing to focus on sport and why you think it's so important towards youth development.
I think sports is very, 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 very important for youth development, because sports actually is something that can bring people together. Sports teaches it not only about your physical exercise. Sport is about discipline. Sport is about self-management. When you are in sports, it could be soccer, it could be rugby, it could be swimming, whatever it is. That person, the youth, any youth or any child who is involved in that is always different from someone who is not.
Yeah, it's discipline, as you say, it goes far beyond. It's also mental benefits that come from that. And in terms of youth development, of course, this is a focus for you. Talk to us about Vision 2020 and the plans that you have to ensure that education is improved in the community and that you can take this blueprint perhaps to other parts of South Africa.
Well, Vision 2020 also is just something that you wanted to have a focus where you are going, where it says by 2020, every member of this community must be self-sufficient. And that meaning that everyone should be, it starts with education. The youth and everybody should be educated, and educated in such a way that he is employable. And for you to have, to say somebody has to be employable, you have to create the means of making that happen. And the only way you can do that is through education. and improve the education wherever you can. The government gives what they give, but also to come with more improvement, so that you can take the kids, or you can take anyone who's in education to where they want to go. And it also goes with the environment, that how are the schools? Do we have schools? Do they have what is needed to make this happen? So those are the things that we are looking at. For starters, also teachers, educators. Do you have the right educators?
That has been a strategy of you. You have been actually, I mean, poaching, I know, top teachers in private schools and understanding the importance of recruiting top talent. Is it expensive to be able to do that?
It is.
Yeah.
It is very expensive. I mean, to run a school is not, organizing a polo. It's very, very expensive. But I think it's an investment. So sooner or later, we'll be getting our returns. So it is expensive, but you know that you are investing. And that is to the investment on everyone who will be getting this education. There will be an investment for the village itself, for the community. Because the idea of Vision 2020 is that don't go out, uplift each other.
Is it very important to you that you ensure that the culture, the traditions of the Bafokeng people are instilled in the youth right now, and they continue to carry that forward into the future?
That is my wish. Because when you talk about, we always talk about Ubuntu or Boto, but nobody has ever really sat down to, sort of to get into, to explain exactly what this is all about. And our culture is within this word Boto, because that is the whole person. Who are you as a person? It talks about, again, as I'm saying, it talks about your manners. It talks about your thinking, not putting yourself before others.
Community. The
community. That it talks about where everyone is a family. It talks about a place where you don't see, where you will not see orphans, because your child is my child. When you die, I take over, without going to the social workers for adoption papers and going through all that process. It's a child who is in need. She comes into my house, I look after that child.